Hello YouTube, and today I bring you my second squad builder, I think, my channel, SWK Tank Central, and you'll see from my last video I did a Serie A B's team, which was worth around 60k, oh no, 120k squad builder, that was it, and that went down pretty well, I guess, but now I bring you a very strange team for me, which I don't think many of you probably would have made, and that is a kind of African hybrid with, I think, Ghana, one Cameroonian player being Eto, and Nigerians. So probably the three, I would say, this message might be a bit controversial, but probably the three best African teams combined together to make one pretty sweaty, pacey team. Now, I couldn't get 99 chemistry, I had to get 89 because there aren't any Nigerian centre mids who also play in the Russian league, which was also a contributing factor. So, to start off with, our first player in net, we have the only player that you could possibly get from this is Adam Larson Kwarasi. Sorry, and he has to be fair, he isn't actually a bad goalkeeper. He was worth a pretty cheap. I got him on the cheap, but he has pretty consistent stats, all in the 60s and late 70s. But he has pretty good speed actually for a Ghanaian player, and he plays in the Tipper League, I think. I'm not sure what league that is. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and put Strømsgodset IF. Okay. So that was in net. Okay, we're playing a nice little 3-4-1-2 formation because that again is one of the only formations you can play. So, I mean, there is a couple of choices of centre-backs, but either way they have to be bronze. So we have Philip Boampong, who is actually, I always thought he was actually pretty good. I mean, he is definitely not very tall. 5'10" for a centre-back wasn't the best, I thought, but I reckon he coped well because he has good pace, so he could catch up with the defence. Sorry, catch up with the attackers, who were pretty quick, and everyone these days has a pretty sweaty team. So, in the left back we have Isaac Vorsah, who plays for Salzburg, Rebel Salzburg in the Australian Bundesliga. Very pacey centre-back, good heading, he's very tall as well, which also I think helps quite a lot, and you can pick him up for virtually quick sell price. Now for the Nigerian side, we have Kenneth Omeruo, who plays ADO Den Haag in the Eredivisie, I think. Very pacey centre-back, so generally like the pretty pacey centre-backs on this team, and he has pretty good heading and he's reasonably tall, so he's actually quite a good player. Just about silver. And then we move on to the player I mostly based the team around, and I thought he was actually really good. He has mixed reviews, but I always thought he was pretty good. And that is Christian Atsu from FC Porto. Very quick player, he's decent shooting, decent passing and good dribbling, with 3-star skills. However, his right foot is about as good as Lucas Podolski's right foot, which is another sort of contributing factor which I thought was quite a negative for him. And I picked him up for very, very cheap, which I could probably make 20k off him because I've seen him go for 50 or so. But I got him for 35k, which I thought was very cheap. And this is one of the first man of the matches I've probably ever used. You'll have seen him reviewed on Itani's channel, which I might leave a link below for. And he did a pretty in-depth review of him. So if you want to check that out to see if you want to, that might influence your choice in getting him or not. But I personally thought he was quite good. Now moving on to our centre mids, we have Emmanuel Aguimen-Badu from Udinese. Now he had an amazing long shot, and he was a very consistent player. He was good in everything. He was a good centre mid, steady. He was quite short, and he didn't really win many headers as a result of that. But I still thought everything else was quite good. His defending was good, his dribbling is good, his passing is brilliant. He made some fantastic through balls out to Atsu and out to Musa on the right and left side. And obviously he plays in a good league, and I think that 1,200 coins is actually quite cheap for a player of his quality. He was actually very quick, and his long shot was brilliant. He put lots of power behind the ball, so I would highly recommend getting him, even for just a silver Serie A team. Next we have Victor Obina. Now I had to use him because there's no one else. However, I also could have used Victor Obi, but I just thought Obina would probably be a bit better. In fact, I might even use him. But Victor Obina played a fantastic centre mid role. Very quick, obviously. Got very good shooting, so 88 and 70 shooting I thought was fantastic. Average height, so there's nothing special about him there. And he's left-footed, so because he's on the right side, the fact he's got left-footed means he can just cut inside. And I've gone for 600 coins, which I thought was ridiculous. And he has good dribbling as well and good passing, so most of these players aren't actually that skillful. I only have one. No, I don't actually have any 5-star skills in this team. Bit of a shame, really. Next we move on to Ahmed Musa, who I was mentioning earlier. He's very quick, and he has quite a decent shot. His dribbling is brilliant, and he's got 4-star skills. However, he's quite short, so he does get muscle off the ball quite easily. And I picked him up for 4k, because he was one of the only ones in this formation on the market, so I'm fine with playing that. And then we move on to probably one of my favourite players on this team. You'll all know who he is from the KSI video, and many other people, and he's obviously man of the match card, which is just as OP, is Emmanuel Manike for Spartak Moscow. I mean, what do I need to say about this guy? He's pacey, absolutely amazing shot, brute strength, heading, height, dribbling. The weak foot is brilliant. Just one of the best players I've ever played with on any FIFA. Now we go on to a bit of more senior player in this team. Quite high rated, Samuel Eto'o. He will never get bad and old in my books. He will always be a brilliant player from the day until the day he retires. I mean, look at the record there from the last person who had him. He scored more goals in games, and he's 2.5k. You can't really argue with that. He's the only Cameroonian player on this team because, well, they aren't probably the best league to actually play with on this. He's tall, 4-star skills, pace, his shooting and pace over 80, 70 passing, 76 heading, which I thought was quite surprising, and he never needs to use it, and 83 dribbling, so he's one of the best players. The last player in this team, a lot of you might know about him. I thought he was really good. A friend of mine introduced me to him. He put him in his team. It's Abdulmajid Waris, who also plays for Moscow, so he gets that bit of extra chemistry. And he's Ghanaian, so he links with Atsu. And he was a speed demon. Majid Waris, very cheap. I found 1k for a 92 pace player, and he had a lot more to that than his pace. He had a good shot, and he actually had pretty decent heading. I did score 2 headers with him, and his dribbling was a bit off, which you could expect for a 1k player with amazing pace, because he didn't have the dribbling to match up with his pace. Now, one thing I did not like about Majid Waris was obviously his 2-star skills. A striker, well, I don't think he actually needed to use his skills that much, so it wasn't a big deal, but I always like to have at least 3-star skills. So that was the team. Thank you for going through the 7.5 minutes so far, and I think all in all, this team, the majority of it cost him for Atsu, but I think it was worth around 55k, so if you have 55k, I would highly recommend going out and making this team, because it played brilliantly. And if you like a bit of sweat, then make this team. Maybe you can get some advances on chemistry. I don't know, man of the match, Victor Moses on the right side, maybe Obi at centre mid if you prefer him. There are lots of choices with this team, except from the centre backs. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic team. So peace out, and I'll try and get another squad builder going in soon. Thank you.